Hello everyone, in this video we are going to be looking at solving problems with similar triangles. So to start, I want you to think about these two images. So this is an image I had on my computer, let's say. I grabbed the corner and I dragged it to make the picture bigger. And I made it 2 times bigger. So if it originally was 4 centimeters by 6 centimeters, and I dragged it and made it 2 times bigger, what is its new height and width? If we're looking at triangles here, you can see my original size of the triangle, and I dragged the corner, made it bigger, and this is the new measurements. How much bigger did I make this triangle? How much bigger did I make this triangle? How much bigger did I make this triangle? And can I figure out what x and y are? These are all questions about similar triangles. Similar triangles are triangles that are made up of the same angles, but are not the same size. Because of this, their sides are proportional to each other. So in order for them to be similar, it has to be the type of situation where the entire triangle is the same in terms of the angles, and it's exactly so many times bigger or smaller. And so because of this, the sides that match up are going to be proportional to each other. In the previous two examples, we could say that one triangle was 2 times bigger than the other, or 3 times bigger than the other, and so on. But they're not always exactly 2 or 3 times bigger. Sometimes it is a fractional amount or a decimal amount. So instead, we can use proportions to solve for the remaining side lengths so that we can work with decimals and fractions. So let's take a look at this example again. This is one of the triangles that I showed you before, and we're going to actually solve for x and y using proportions. Now the trick is to match up the sides that align. So in this case, the 3 centimeters matches to the 9 centimeters. The 4 centimeters matches to the x, and the 2 centimeters matches to the y. And we're going to use the sides that we know, the 2 sides that match up that we have both the measurements for. We're going to use those in order to find the missing ones. So for example, I can start with 3 over 9 is the same as 4 over x. Okay, so 3 over 9 equals 4 over x. Make sure that you've matched up the right sides, and make sure that you've put the same triangle on the top and the same triangle on the bottom. What I mean by that is 3 and 4 are both from the same triangle, and they're both on the top. 9 and x are from the same triangle, and they're both on the bottom. So make sure you're following the same pattern when you write your fraction. And now I can use proportions to solve this out. So I'm going to do 3 times x equals 4 times 9. So I get 3x equals 36. And then to get the x by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals 12 centimeters. And I can follow that same pattern for the y. Again, I'm going to use 3 and 9. Even though I now know 4 and 12, I'm going to use the original numbers I was given just in case I happen to have made a mistake here. So 3 over 9 is going to be the same as 2 over y. Cross multiply, and I get 3y equals 18. And then I'm going to divide by 3, and I get 6 centimeters. And if we look, 3 to get to 9 is times 3, so this triangle is 3 times bigger. 4 times 3 is 12, 2 times 3 is 6, so it does work out. Now you do have to be careful because sometimes it can be a bit trickier to figure out which sides match. And so sometimes they will give an angle to show you which ones match up. So not only is this triangle not sort of facing the right direction, it's been rotated, not just flipped. So a lot of people without this angle would think, well, it's just been flipped over and the 4 matches the y, the 5 matches the x. But actually, it's been rotated. And so the 4 matches the 10. The 3 matches the y, and the 5 matches the x here. It's been rotated. So make sure you're taking your time to figure out which sides line up using the angles that you're given. So if I want to figure out x, I'm going to say 4 over 10, those are the sides that match, equal 5 over x. And then I'm going to cross multiply and divide. For the next one, I'm going to do 4 over 10 equals 3 over y. Cross multiply and divide. And so I get my new sides is 12.5 and 7.5. Okay, I want you to try these out. Here are 4 different triangles for you to find and solve. So I want you to pause the video, try these ones out, and then we'll take them up together. So let's work through these problems together. Here I have this side is lining up to this side, and this side is lining up to our x. So I'm going to do 5 over 25 equals 10 over x. I cross multiply, and then I divide. My final answer here is 50 feet. In number 2, this side matches up to this side, and this side matches up with this side. So I'm going to do 6 over 12 equals x over 8. And I cross multiply and get 12x equals 48. X equals 4. So x is 4 inches. In number 3, this side matches this side, and this side matches this side. So I'm going to do 16 over 28 is the same as x over 49. So I get 28x equals 784. We do 784 divided by 28 gets us 28. And don't forget to include your units. And for number 4, I have this side matching this side, and this side matching this side. So I'm going to do 7 over 21 equals 10 over x. I get 7x equals 210. We do 210 divided by 7 to get 30. So 30 feet. Okay, here are some more for you to try. Take note of the angles that are listed and how the sides are listed. They're a little bit trickier or more advanced, and you'll notice that some of the triangles are overlapped as well. So pause the video, try these out, and start it up again when you're ready. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is label the sides. Let's go into question number 1 here. RT is 15 feet. UV is 10 feet. This whole way here is 6 feet. And it wants to know how far this side is. Okay, so that is our question mark or our X. Okay, so the green is one triangle and the pink purple is another triangle. And so I'm going to write out our proportion. I have 10 over 15 is going to be the same as x over 6. So I get 15x equals 60, x equals 4, and it's feet. Let's look at question number 2. Now this one is a bit tricky because when I first looked at this problem, I thought that the small triangle was just sort of mirrored, like flipped. But if you look at the angle that they have here, it's actually rotated. And so you have to be very careful about which sides match up. So I'm actually just going to redraw this small triangle to match up to the big one. We have this is going to be G, this is H, and this is F. And so I've just redrawn, I've rotated that triangle to help me when matching up the sides. And that is always an option with these questions, is just to redraw the triangles out in the right orientation. So in this big triangle, I have DE is 20 inches. And in the small triangle, I have that FH is 8 and FG is 10 inches. And it wants to know DF, which is this here. So when I write out my proportion, I get 8 over 20 is the same as 10 over x. So I get 8x equals 200. X is 25. So be very careful with the orientation of the triangles. Pay attention to those angles and always feel free to redraw if that's going to help you. Okay, let's look at number 3. Now these angles are in the same place. The triangles are in the same orientation. You can, again, separate them because they're overlapped, but they are oriented in the right way. VZ is 7. VY is 3. VW is 14. And it wants to know XV. So when I write this out, I'm going to do 7 over 14 is equal to 3 over x. I cross multiply and I get 7x equals 42. X equals 6, so 6 yards. And finally, for number 4, again, they're orientated the right way, but they're just overlapping. So I get PQ is 30, RQ is 27, and RT is 18. And we want to know ST there. So I'm going to do 18 over 27 equals x over 30. So I get 27. X equals 18 times 30, which is 540. And then I'm dividing by 27 to get 20. So I get 20 feet. So there are your 4 challenging questions. And so those are your similar triangles. I want you to think about your progress throughout this video and give yourself a sad face, meaning that you are really lost, don't understand, a thoughtful face, meaning you're sort of getting there, but you need some more practice, and a happy face, meaning you've got it, you completely understand. If you are a sad face, you're reaching out to your teacher to get some more help. A thoughtful face means you're doing the practice problems that are assigned to you. And a happy face, I would still suggest doing a couple of the more challenging questions just to make sure it sticks in your head, and then you're good to go on to the next topic.